everyone would kindly be seated, please. At this time, Boy State Sergeant-at-Arms Lou Brolt, please present to this podium the Mayor of Gardner, Massachusetts, the Honorable Michael Nicholson, who will MC this evening's program, who is an alumni of American Legion Boy State and a blue shirt here at Boy State. Let's hear it for Mayor Nicholson.
Good evening. Sergeant-at-Arms, please escort in our honored guests, the members of the General Court, Senator Vilis and Representative Parisella, and the representatives of the American Legion Auxiliary, and the Sons of the American Legion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our honored guests to this evening's convocation ceremony. At this time, we ask you all now please to stand if you are able. Sergeant-at-Arms, please present the colors. We ask that you please salute by placing your hand over your heart if you are in civilian uniform, or salute if you are in military cap. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please cover. We ask that you remain standing for the playing of our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Order arms. Sergeant at Arms, please retire the color guard. At this time, I'd like to... At this time, I'd like to invite to the podium the Reverend Trent Williams, our Boy State, Girl State chaplain.
Let us pray. God of many names, source of freedom and justice, and the one whom we call love, we give thanks for being brought together in safety and for a wonderful beginning to this week of learning. We ask for your blessings on the days ahead. Continue to keep us safe and healthy, keep our minds open to new experiences and new challenges, and build us into a community that is committed to freedom and justice for all. At the end of our time together, may we have learned to be better citizens, better friends and family, and better members of our communities. We entrust this time to your care and your compassion. In all your many names we pray. Amen.
You may be seated. Throughout the course of the week that we will be here on Stonehill's campus, there are many different aspects that go on behind the scenes that the college campus puts on for us so that we can enjoy our time here this week. Here to speak as a representative of Stonehill College is Olivia Seratani, who will deliver a couple words on behalf of the administration of Stonehill College. Olivia, thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon. My name is Olivia Seratani, a member of the Stonehill class of 2022, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to the 2021 Boys and Girls State Program on behalf of our president, Father John Denning, the Conference and Event Services Department, and administrators, staff, and faculty at the college. I have also had the privilege of working with the Boys and Girls State staff in planning your time on campus. As a rising senior, I've been fortunate enough to experience this campus in every capacity you will. And let me tell you, it is well worth taking the time to enjoy, and we are honored that you are part of our community this week. Stonehill, my home away from home for the past 3 years, is a beautiful and wonderful place to be. So please, enjoy it while you are here. I invite you to take a nature walk and try to spot our beloved fox and deer. I encourage you to get involved with group sports time. And most of all, I look forward to congratulating you for your esteemed work within your cities and towns at your inauguration ceremony. With that being said, I want to wish you all the best. Enjoy yourselves today and in the days to come.
Thank you very much, Olivia, for joining us here this evening. Well, good evening, and welcome to our joint Boy State, Girl State Convocation. For those of you who I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, my name is Mike Nicholson. I attended Boy State in 2012, graduated from Gardner High School in 2013, have been serving on the blue shirt staff for Boy State for the past 7 years, and for the remaining 51 weeks of the year, I have the honor and privilege of serving as the mayor of the great city of Gardner, Massachusetts. Thank you. Just over 24 hours ago, you were all still new to this campus. Since then, you've begun to make new friends, formed your local governments, worked on policies, and started to make memories of this program that will last a lifetime. During the time you've had here so far, you've heard words of advice about how to enjoy this week to the fullest, who some of our alumni are, and what impact this program has had on countless individuals who sat in the seats in which you are now seated. Since Boy State came to Massachusetts in 1944 and Girl State in 1945. You can also count yourselves among the luckiest people to attend this program nationwide, as Massachusetts is still the only state that jointly holds these programs with joint classes on the same campus. And that's something that we are very proud to see here at Massachusetts Boys and Girls State. Tonight, we will hear from representatives of the organizations that make this program possible. Without the generous donations of time, energy, and resources of the individuals and the organizations for which they represent, we would not be here today. And the first group that we would like to introduce you all to is the American Legion Auxiliary. Founded in 1919, the American Legion Auxiliary has nearly 1 million members from all walks of life. The Auxiliary administers hundreds of volunteer programs, gives tens of thousands of hours to its communities and to its veterans, and raises millions of dollars to support its own programs, as well as worthwhile charities familiar to Americans all around the country. It is accomplished with all of its volunteers and in all of its works. With a membership consisting of male and female spouses of veterans, grandmothers, mothers, sisters, and direct and adopted female descendants of members of the American Legion, the Auxiliary boosts nearly 10,500 units located in every state and some foreign countries. The Auxiliary embodies the spirit of America that has prevailed through war and through peace. The American Legion Auxiliary annually hosts the Girl State program here, and to speak on its behalf is Dr. Coral May Grout, President of the American Legion Auxiliary, Department of Massachusetts. Dr. Grout.
Good evening, Boys Staters and Girls Staters. There's a little bit of information. I just ended my year as the state president of the American Legion Auxiliary, but that makes me your department president this year. So I'm excited to be here, excited to spend some time with all of you. The mayor of Gardner took a few of my remarks, but that's okay. You are among a group of elite students here this week. First of all, you just heard, you are the only Boys State, Girls State program in this entire country that is combined. That brings some wonderful opportunities to each of you to listen to quality speakers and presentations, and I urge you to do that. The second reason you're an elite group here is because of how you were selected. You were selected based upon your grades, your ability to be a leader, your level of knowledge, and the activities that you've been involved in. So welcome to Girls State. The best thing you can do this week is to participate. Don't sit back and let your roommate run for office unless you're going to run for office. Part of the fun of running for office is the campaigning and the caucuses and all the other activities that go with eventually being selected, one of you as the governor of Massachusetts Boys State or Girls State, and you'll each have that opportunity. So enjoy the week. There will be opportunities to do some of the activities that the lady from Stonehill College provided. Just remember, you're here for a whole week at a college. It's something that it'll give you a chance to get interested in as far as whether or not you want to go to college next year, and year after. And I expect that everyone in this audience tonight will attend a college. And Boys and Girls State attendance on your college resume is a really strong component to getting elected to go to a college. So I wish you success. I wish you fun. And on that last day, on Friday, when you leave, you're going to be leaving some friends behind that will be your friends for life. And value those friendships. Thank you so much. Have a great week.
Thank you very much, President Grout. The American Legion was chartered by an act of Congress in 1919 as a patriotic veterans organization, focusing on service to veterans, service members, and communities. The Legion evolved from a group of war-weary veterans of World War I into one of the most influential nonprofit groups in the United States. Membership swiftly grew to over 1 million, and local posts sprang up across the country. And today, its membership stands at nearly 2 million in more than 13,000 posts worldwide. The posts are organized into 55 departments, one in each of the 50 states, along with the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, France, Mexico, and the Philippines. Over the years, the American Legion has influenced considerable social change in America, won hundreds of benefits for veterans, and produced many important programs for children and youth, including our Boy State program. Here today representing the American Legion is Jody Pajic, immediate past commander of the American Legion Department of Massachusetts, a Navy veteran whose job was to help service, load, and unload Polaris missiles from nuclear submarines. She is the second woman to lead the American Legion here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Please join me in welcoming Commander Pajic to the stand.
Good evening, Boys State, Girls State, Legionnaires, and special guests. You're going to notice an echo in my thing that I'm going to read here that you're going to pick up as a theme here. As you continue through this week, I am sure you have felt the patriotism and the Americanism that is in the forefront all that you do here at Boys State. And I hope each of you are aware that you were chosen here because you have displayed high levels of leadership skills along with giving of oneself in various ways to your community and your schools. You are truly being afforded an opportunity to experience democracy work by your own hands. As an individual, one day you may be the one with the power to create change, whether you're an athlete, a politician, a journalist, or a scientist, or somewhere in the middle. Each and every one of you have the power to make a difference in this world. Take advantage of this opportunity, better yourself for the future responsibilities you choose to foster. Remember, you will get out of this program what you put into it. And I am confident that you will continue to demonstrate and develop these life skills well after you complete this here at Boys State and Girls State. I encourage you to step out of your comfort zone, challenge yourself while you are here, because this week will be unlike any other you've had in your life until this time. And above all, have fun. And finally, I ask each of you, ladies and gentlemen, to always speak well of and to uphold and defend our Constitution, maintain law and order, and above all, thank a veteran for all they have given in this country when the opportunity arises. God bless America, and God bless our veterans. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commander. Our next group is the Sons of the American Legion. Founded in 1932, the Sons of the American Legion exist to honor the service and sacrifice of our Legionnaires. Its membership includes the males of all ages whose parents or grandparents served in the United States military and were eligible for American Legion membership. The members of the American Legion Auxiliary, and the Sons of the American Legion comprise the Legion family, which has a combined membership of nearly 3 million strong. Several members of our blue shirt staff, including myself, are proud members of this organization. To speak on its behalf, please join me in welcoming Commander Gene Thoreau, the commander of the Sons of the American Legion Detachment of Massachusetts, to the podium. Thank you.
Welcome, Boys State and Girls Staters. On behalf of the 5,000 members of the Sons of the American Legion Detachment of Massachusetts, welcome. It's great to be amongst the future leaders of our community, state, and nation. You're going to have plenty of opportunities to grow and make long-lasting friendships that you'll have for the rest of your life. I was told to keep it to 5 seconds. I'm going to keep it to that. But before I do that, I'd like to congratulate my Senator John Vilis over here, because ever since he's been in the legislature, either as a state rep or a state senator, I've come to him to sponsor a citizen to Boys State and Girls State. Each and every time he has done that. So one of you that are in here has that opportunity to attend because of a gentleman like Senator Vilis. Enjoy your week and the best of luck. Thank you.
We've heard from the organizations who sponsor these programs that we are here for, but there are individuals who put countless hours every year directly into overseeing these programs and making sure that those who attend receive the best possible experience that they can get. Andrea Pelletier is the Director of Programming for Massachusetts Girls State. a graduate of Westfield State University and an alumna of the 2007 Girls State program. She has devoted countless hours into helping make the program that our Girls State citizens are experiencing this week. Please join me in welcoming Director Pelletier to the stand.
Thank you, Mike. Welcome, everyone, to the 2021 Boys and Girls State Convocation. As some of us know on this side, I'm very excited this year because it is my first year up here as director. I have been on staff since 2008. I started as a junior counselor, and ever since then, I pretty much got hooked. I sat where the girls are sitting today in a different location. We were at Westfield State at the time, and was just absolutely awestruck by the things that I was hearing from people during the week and the intelligence that I had in the room with me. Soak that up. Use your peers. Learn from them. Value their opinions. Talk to them. Take everything in. Because everything that you will learn this week has so much value moving forward with you. Just do everything that you can to learn absolutely everything this week. We have a lot of great speakers coming for you, and we have a lot of great opportunities for you. So I just encourage you all to take every opportunity that you can and do with your week what you will. Make it amazing for yourselves, because we only do so much for you. We put the program on, but you make the program what it is. And we thank you for that. Have an amazing week.
Our next speaker is certainly a friend to all. Mark Avis has served as the chairman of the Massachusetts Boys State program for the past 20 years and has been on the staff at Massachusetts Boys State for the past 25. A veteran of the United States Army and an avid fan of UMass basketball, he has played an integral role in evolving the program and making sure that the citizens of Massachusetts Boys State leave the program with the knowledge and skills necessary to keep our democracy alive and well. And aside from being a great friend, he has even greater hair this year. So please join me in welcoming Chairman Avis to the podium to welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Before I get started, I just want to thank you all, the ladies and the gentlemen, for showing up to Boys State and Girls State this year. It was a tough road to hoe with all the academic and the COVID things going on and schools being closed and everything. And every time we would turn around, the governor would open things up a little bit further and a little bit further, and things got a little bit brighter for us here at the program so that we could do it. But before I really get into everything, I just want to have a round of applause for Andrea, the counselors on Boys State and Girls State sign, because they were so flexible in what they were doing, and they were changing at the spur of the moment. Every time things would open up, we kept opening up our program to add more things to it and things like that. We usually have a band, but because of the still COVID restrictions, we can't have it. But let's have a round of applause for our counselors who spent many hours to put this together. And as you heard, we are the only program that runs a joint program. Some programs have the programs on the same campus, but they never see each other. And today, just to show you that, there is people around the country that are looking at our model and what we do here as a Boys and Girls State. We have two gentlemen from the Department of California, American Legion and American Legion Auxiliary. We have Tam Abraham over here, who is the chief counselor at the California Boys State. And we have Gary Leck, past department commander and director of the California Boys State. They flew in here to come and see our program in action because they are thinking of doing what we do here in Massachusetts. And with that said, I want to say that this is my third director that I've had the privilege of working with here. My first director, Donna Camelius, was the thought. We had the thought. We started to talk. And then Bonnie Sledesky took over, and we brought the two groups together at Westfield State College. Worcester State College for a one-night deal. We saw that it worked pretty good, and then right after that, we all settled in here at Stonehill College, and we've had many, many years of success. And as you heard, the program is up to you to make it a success. You are the best, the brightest from around the Commonwealth. As I told our elected officials, it's a shame you can't come down and see our program in full force, because they would be very proud of the students that we have here in the Commonwealth and just what they can achieve in a week's time when they come together, not knowing anyone but leaving as friends, family, and soon to be probably college roommates at some places or college friends at some places. But it's up to you to make the program work. I'm sorry that we didn't have more numbers here, but again, I want to thank you for coming here. Enjoy yourself. The program is yours to make what it is, and at the end of the week, what we make it or what we make it in each program is what we go with, and it always seems to be a great model that sometimes we might even be able to pass on to our state legislators, and they might say, wow, that's a good thing, and we can move forward with that. So I want to say enjoy your week, have a good time. If you have any problems, come and see me or see Andrea. We can correct them on the spot and everything, and I want to thank Andrea and the Girls State staff, along with my staff, for being flexible during this time and everything. Enjoy yourself, have a good evening, and I'll see you around the campus. Thank you.
We have two very special guests with us here today from the Massachusetts General Court. Senator John Vilis represents the 2nd Hampden and Hampshire District in the Massachusetts State Senate, which includes his hometown of Westfield and 10 other cities and towns in western Massachusetts. He is the chair of the Joint Committee on Veterans and Federal Affairs, vice chair of the Joint Committee on Mental Health, Substance Abuse and Recovery, and vice chair of the Joint Committee on Children, Families, and Persons with Disabilities. Senator Vilis is a lawyer, veteran, and major in the United States Army Reserves. Prior to his election to the state Senate, he was a state representative from the 4th Hampden District, which covers the city of Westfield. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable John Vilis, Senator from the 2nd Hampden, Hampshire District.
Good evening, Boys State and Girls State. What an honor to be here tonight. Just truly, truly an honor. So thank you for the invitation. Just so very impressed with everything. I want to tell you a story. I just want to basically convey to you a couple of stories of things that I've picked up that I think could be helpful. And I guess I should say I hope they are helpful to you. And I wanted to tell you a story. I spend a lot of time speaking to kids in schools throughout my district, and make no mistake about it, you are not kids, you are young adults. But I spend a lot of time talking to kids. And what I do in that, when I have those opportunities, I tell them about my last experience that I had in 2018 in Afghanistan when I was on the U.S. Army team that was working on elections for the Afghans' parliamentary elections, which took place on October 20th, 2018. And what I do is I ask them, I say, raise your hand if you think it's important to vote. And absolutely every hand goes up there that they think it's important to vote. I then ask them if they were old enough to vote, would they vote? All their hands shoot up in the air. Absolutely, we would vote. We understand how important it is. And then I add a third element to it. And what I say to them is that, would you still vote if on the way to the voting poll, you ran the risk of stepping on a roadside bomb when you got to the polls, that the polling complex could get hit by a car bomb and a rocket attack? And then lastly, if you were fortunate enough to make it and to cast your vote and to get that ink put on your finger, you could get your finger cut off. And all the kids are looking at me like I'm certifiably crazy at this point. And I ask them, and I say, would you still vote? And in all the times that I've asked that question, not a single hand goes up. And then I explain to them that that is exactly the circumstances that I was confronted with, that we were confronted with in Afghanistan in those elections, and thousands upon thousands millions of people came out and still voted. And that was a really strong message for me. And I bring that story to your attention because I think it's absolutely critical. Because I think on so many levels, civic engagement, being part of the process, voting, volunteering for campaigns, filing bills, is such an important part of what you're going to learn this week. It's such an important part of this democracy that we have, but we take it for granted. So many things that we have that you're going to learn this next week, we take for granted. So remember that story, what I told you about Afghanistan, because with those same odds, people came out and voted and participated in their democracy. And it was just a beautiful and fascinating thing. I was listening to a podcast today, and it was by a retired 4-star Army general. And this general was talking about the greatest threat to America right now. And he started to talk about what we would refer to in the military as near-peer adversaries: China, Russia, North Korea, Iran. And he said, make no mistake about it, they are not the greatest threat to America. The greatest threat to America is America itself. The fact right now that we live in a country where we have two parties that refuse to talk to each other, refuse to work together, refuse to compromise. Why am I bringing this up to you? Because when I was looking at your syllabus or whatever document it is that you have outlining this program, I see that you folks are split up into two parties, Federalists and Nationalists. And that's great. And absolutely participate in that because it's absolutely important. But when you leave here, when you do participate in your communities, and when you start to vote, if you're already not voting, look at the issues, right? Be the person that's willing to make that compromise. Be that person that's more concerned with solving a problem as opposed to being the problem. We've got more than enough problem creators in my line of work. We don't have enough problem solvers. That's my challenge to you. Be part of that problem solver group. It will make all the difference in the world, and we desperately need you. The last thing I want to tell you is a story that I love this story, and I think it's so critically important. The former Secretary of Defense, former 4-star General Mattis. He tells this story about America's two fundamental powers. The power to intimidate, i.e. the U.S. military, and the power to inspire. And he tells the situation where in Iraq, in early 2000, he was going to get killed. In fact, they captured an insurgent who was laying an IED to kill General Mattis. And General Mattis said, I want to meet this person. So he met this insurgent who wanted to kill him. And he threw him over a cup of coffee and said, here's a cup of coffee. And they started to have a conversation. And General Mattis was shocked by what he said to him. This insurgent who had just tried to kill him said that if I go to Guantanamo Bay and I behave when I'm there, can I come to America? Can I move to America? General Mattis was floored. He didn't know what to say. But what he says is that it was a valuable lesson for him because of those two fundamental powers that we have in America, the ability to intimidate and the ability to inspire. The ability to inspire is far more important. When you come to programs like Boys State and Girls State, you are participating in that ability to inspire. You are what's great about this country, and we absolutely desperately need you. So thanks for letting me say a few words tonight.
Thank you very much, Senator. Our next speaker is Representative Jared Parisella. Representative Parisella represents the 6th Essex District of the Massachusetts House of Representatives. Representative Parisella graduated from Emerson College in 1988 with a bachelor's degree in journalism. He worked as a reporter for the Salem Evening News from 1989 until 1991, when he became Congressman Nicholas Marvolis's press secretary. In 1997, Parisella graduated from the New England School of Law, and a year later became the Assistant City Solicitor for the city of Beverly, Massachusetts. In 2000, Representative Parisella gave up his solicitor's job to join the law firm of Alexander and Firmino, where he still practices to this day. From 2006 to 2011, he was also the Assistant City Solicitor for the city of Salem, Massachusetts. Representative Parisella is a major in the United States Army Reserve, serving with the Judge Advocate Corps, and in 2011, he was deployed to Iraq with the 804th Medical Brigade. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Jared Parisella, representative for the 6th Essex District, to the podium.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. How you doing? All right. I want to applaud you folks. This is tremendous. A terrific turnout. It's great to have events in person again. And I'm just really inspired and admired by your dedication to commit the time to come out here to learn about civics. But before I get started, I just wanted to also congratulate my good friend and colleague, John Vilis, who recently got married to the beautiful Emily. I know it's been a tough year, a tough 18 months being in school. You know, you're remote, you're staring at a screen, and then maybe you went hybrid, you're in for a couple of days, you're staring at a screen again, and then you finally get back in person. So to come out here for a week and to learn about civics and learn about government, it's really, really important. And I'm really, really proud that I had the opportunity to come out here and speak to you. Just learning about civics is really important. There was a survey by the Annenberg Center at the University of Pennsylvania. Only 1/3 of Americans could name all 3 branches of government. 2/3 of Americans couldn't name any Supreme Court justice. 1/3 didn't know who their governor was, and less than 20% knew who their state rep or state senator was. That's probably even less than that, because I've been called the mayor, I've been called the congressman, I've been called the city councilor. So, you know, it's great that you folks are getting involved. I peeked my head in earlier and saw folks giving speeches for election. It's just terrific. I have a 17-year-old daughter, and I'm not sure she knows what I do for a living. So it's great to have you folks participate. You know, young folks like yourself, you really are making a difference these days. Think about those students from Parkland High School after that terrific shooting there. They went around the country talking about violence. They made a big difference. There was Darnella Frazier, the teenager who filmed the George Floyd murder. She just recently got a Pulitzer Prize for her courage in continuing to film that incident. And you had Malaya Yousafzai. She was a 14-year-old girl who got shot by the Taliban just because she advocated that girls should be allowed to go to school. She received the Nobel Prize for her courage. You know, civic engagement, it doesn't have to be a complex matter. You can shovel somebody's driveway. You can go clean the park. You know, you can do simple things like that. You can shovel a driveway. Whatever it is, it really makes a difference. As the senator mentioned, he was in Afghanistan. In 1997, I deployed to Bosnia. We went there as peacekeepers after a terrible, terrible, terrible civil war. They called it ethnic cleansing, where people were getting killed just because of their nationality or their religion. So President Clinton sent about 15,000 of us there to be peacekeepers. And I was just a sergeant at the time, and you know, I was trying to think, what could I do to make a little bit of a difference in the lives of the Bosnians? So I told my brother, you know, I think these folks could use some school supplies. It'd be great if you could send me something. So I got a couple of boxes of school supplies. We went to a school, and you would have thought I was Santa Claus with a sled full of toys. I mean, the kids were screaming and yelling. They were so psyched just to get a pencil, to get a notebook. You know, it was amazing. So then I was talking to a couple of veterans who came to visit us while we were there, and they heard the story. They went back, and unbeknownst to me, they went on the radio, WBZ radio, which at nighttime can be heard in about 30 states. They said, this guy, Jerry Parisella, is in Bosnia. He's giving away school supplies. Well, about 3 weeks later, I must have got 75 or 100 boxes of school supplies. So we got to distribute these to orphanages, to the schools. And the Bosnians, I mean, they just really, really appreciated that little act of kindness. And I don't know if it made a difference or not, but I have a feeling that, they thought a little bit better about America after we showed up. And actually, the Secretary of Defense even came and gave away some of the school supplies, so it was pretty cool. So however you choose to get involved, just do something to make a difference in your community. Make it a little bit better place. Shovel a senior's driveway, clean up the park, get involved, run for office, whatever it is, you can make a difference. So I really appreciate the opportunity to come out here today, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Representative. Now, you saw some people come up and talk about the different organizations that help make this program possible from the American Legion family. And we have several guests with us here today from that American Legion family. So I would like to ask all of those in the American Legion Auxiliary, and the Sons of the American Legion to please stand and be recognized. And ladies and gentlemen, let's please give them a round of applause that they deserve. It's now my honor to introduce to you all the new president of the Massachusetts American Legion Auxiliary, Miss Cindy Kelly, to tell you all the story of Flanders Field. Thank you.
Good evening, all you boys and girls staters. You all should have received, or they're passing them out, a bookmark with the story of Flanders Fields. But I'm going to read a short story about it myself. Can you hear me? Yeah. In November 1918, the Ladies' Home Journal reprinted the poem, "We Shall Not Sleep," now known as "In Flanders Fields" by Corporal John McCrae. A surgeon with Canada's 1st Brigade Artillery, Colonel McCrae expressed his grief over row on row of soldiers' graves who had died in Flanders Fields. The poem became a rallying cry to all who fought in the First World War. Before the poem appeared in the journal, Colonel McCrae died. His words lived on Monia Michael, a YMCA volunteer who worked with soldiers in New York City. To keep the message of the poem alive, Miss Michael wore a red silk poppy in honor of those brave men who envisioned the poppy as a memorial to all veterans. Her idea to mass produce the distribution of the flower throughout the country came to the attention of the newly established American Legion. The poppy was officially adopted as the national symbol of remembrance of the American Legion at their Cleveland Convention on September 29, 1920. In 1921, during the first convention in Kansas City, Missouri, the auxiliary added their support and agreed to distribute the flowers. The first poppies were silk and made in France by war widows and orphans. In 1922, at the suggestion of the American veterans, unemployed and disabled veterans in America, hospitals began to manufacture the flowers. In 1924, the American Legion Auxiliary was given total responsibility of the poppy production and distribution. The poppy program is now one of the oldest and most beneficial auxiliary programs for veterans and has kept the message of Colonel McCrae's Little Poppy alive. We have not forgotten. Thank you for letting me speak tonight.
It's now my honor and privilege to invite up Past Department President of the American Legion Auxiliary, Florence Publicover, and the students who will be assisting her with the POWMIA Memorial Ceremony. We ask that you please observe this ceremony in reverent silence without the interruption of applause, out of respect for those for whom this important ceremony commemorates. Thank you.
Today, we pay tribute to the men and women who have served our nation unselfishly. Within each of us lies the American spirit, a burning desire to dedicate and commit ourselves to the American ideals of freedom. This desire is deep within the heart and soul of each soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, and Coast Guardsman. It is undaunted by weather conditions, living conditions, or hardship of mission. When the bells of freedom first rang out, we were there at Bunker Hill, Lexington, and the brutal winter at Valley Forge. Thousands of us gave our lives at Bull Run, Manassas, Antietam, and Gettysburg. We rode with Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders up San Juan Hill. Whenever and wherever America called, we were there. We fought battles of the Marne and Chateau Thierry in World War I. We were at the Battle of the Bulge, the Ardennes Forest, and all along the European front of World War II. We endured Corregidor. We survived the Bataan Death March. We raised the flag at Iwo Jima. We landed at Utah and Normandy on D-Day, 1944. We have never failed to answer our country's call. We fought the unrelenting fight at the 38th parallel, better known as Korea. We trudged through the rice paddies and jungles of Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. We were the 241 Marines killed in Buret. We were the pilots who flew the daring mission against Libya and international terrorism.
America has always counted on us. We were the peacekeepers in the Sinai, liberators of the tiny island nations of Grenada, restorers of democracy in Panama, victors in the sand of the Middle East Gulf War. We were givers of hope in Somalia and Bosnia, in the present war on terrorism, Afghanistan and Iraq. America's military has always been the beacon of freedom, shining for all to see. We have marched with our heads held high and served with pride. Through all these periods of war in American history, one question remains unanswered. Where are our brothers, our prisoners of war, our missing in action veterans? This is not an absence of choice, but rather one which emulates duty, honor, and country. Let us remember their absence.
We call your attention to the small table which occupies a place of dignity and honor. It is set for one, symbolizing the fact that members of our armed forces are missing from our ranks. They are referred to as POWs and MIAs. We call them comrades. They are unable to be with their loved ones and families, so we join together to pay humble tribute to them and bear witness to their continued absence. The table is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner, alone against his or her suppressors. The tablecloth is white, symbolic of the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms.
The single rose in the vase signifies the blood they may have shed in sacrifice to ensure the freedom of our beloved United States of America. This rose also reminds us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who keep faith while awaiting their return. The red ribbon on the vase represents the red ribbons worn on the lapels of the thousands who demand, with unyielding determination, a proper account of our comrades who are not among us.
The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope, which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home, away from their captors, to open arms of a grateful nation. A slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. The salt sprinkled on the bread plate reminds us of the countless volunteers of families as they wait.
The chair is empty. They are not here. The American flag reminds us that many of them may never return and have paid the supreme sacrifice to ensure our freedom. The following girls and boys will place a military flag and flowers near the American flag. Please rise.
In honor of the United States Army, we place this flower.
In honor of the United States Marines, we place this flower.
In honor of the United States Navy, we place this flower.
In honor of the United States Air Force, we place this flower.
In honor of the United States Coast Guard, we place this flower. Please observe 1 minute of silence to honor these missing Americans.
Remember them, for surely they remember you. May God forever watch over them and protect them and their families.
We will now say the prayer for POW MIA prisoners. Almighty Father, who suffers in the affliction of your children, we call upon you now from the depths of our anxiety and great concern for our countrymen and loved ones who have fallen into the hands of the nation's foes, in the face of the evils that these brave men endure, and before the grim burdens they are forced to bear. Give them courage and hope, and never-failing confidence in you. But most of all, O God, we ask that the day will soon come when we call all to celebrate their release and safe return to their homes and family. Give to all of us who wait and hope in the face of every disappointment the will to preserve in the cause of peace and the wisdom to conquer hate with love and every doubt with a renewed faith in you. Amen.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Sergeant at Arms, please escort out our honored guests from the platform. Please join me in thanking our guests for attending this evening's ceremony with us. Please be seated. I hope that from this evening's ceremony you were able to gain a greater understanding of the people who help make this program possible year after year. These individuals and organizations put their heart and souls into these programs because, like all of us on the staff, they believe in you. They know you have it in you, and they're proud of the impact that you've already started to make on this world. Have those of you who have already heard my government lecture heard me say, don't let anyone ever tell you that you're too young and that you need to wait your turn, because there's a whole network of individuals here rooting for you and waiting to see you prove them wrong. And for every person who tells you that you need to wait and that you need to wait your turn and that you're not ready yet, there's every one of us here behind you telling you the opposite and pushing you along, and they're behind you whenever you need that support. And that's the point of this evening's ceremony, so that you can see that you have a whole room here to support you whenever you need it. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the week as best as you can, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.